Hey, you guys, how's everyone doing today? Hello, hello. This is the weekly reseller chat. Welcome in, you guys. If you're new to reselling, welcome to the community. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I am Loving Life Freely. I am a full-time reseller. My main platform is eBay. I also do sell on Mercari and Poshmark. I'm obviously here on YouTube making fun videos. This week's reseller chat is a little bit different. It's probably gonna be a little bit shorter. I am going to share with you a little bit about an update on my personal life. I have made some more changes, as you all know. I tweak and change as I go, especially since there's a lot of changes happening in the reseller community, and it's not just pricing in thrift stores, pricing on liquidation. Platforms are changing, and we have to roll with all of these different punches coming at us, right? So I honestly do feel like we should be on our toes and making sure we know with each of our own individual business models what is working for us and what doesn't, because a lot of things are changing. And so if something like that is of interest to you, we're going to be talking about AI today. We're going to be talking about Poshmark closing down 3 major countries, which, yeah. And just also how to move forward, you guys. So let's discuss this. Stay tuned. Okay, you guys, so these are kind of some big topics here, right? Let's start off with just my personal update. I mentioned to you guys during my wet souls this last week that I've made some more changes. I've been following a group that focuses mainly on some of the people in the group that follow these two gentlemen. Some of them, a lot of them just sell on eBay, but some of them also do sell on Poshmark, Mercari. It's kind of been mentioned, but the main focus is eBay and how to sell the best on eBay to really make eBay just boom, which is my objective and my goal with my business model right now. eBay is my focus, and I really charge in the hill with it. And eBay is different than Poshmark and Mercari, very much so. Not just how it functions, but what sells. My goal a few months ago was to try and have more of my inventory, the higher end pieces, to not work as hard. And I still want to do that. But since being in this group, I am noticing that a lot of the companies in the past few months that sell higher end pieces, we have all learned in the last few weeks that the cogs are really going up on those items, especially the higher end items. A lot of these companies, you're paying minimally $15 to $20 per piece for a nice high end item that is new with tags. Me personally, I just don't want to go that high on my cog. That's just me. I know for some people it works really well for them, and if it does, I am super glad that those boxes are still working for you. For me, I agree with my husband. We did discuss this, and I'm just not willing to go that high on a cog for a chance in a box of an item that I'm not sure of. I have them sourcing through new without tags, but the gal who left me a message about, not new without tags, Quick Lots. The gal who messaged me, I've been going back and forth with her about Quick Lots. Thank you so much for your messages on Quick Lots. I so appreciate you. Learning from you, she reached out to Quick Lots. Their boxes that we've been buying, the $225 boxes that I unboxed, she also ordered some, and some other people reached out to me, said they'd ordered some. All of their boxes that are in those categories have been sold out for a couple weeks now. She did reach out to them, and apparently their source for those boxes is backordered. So I don't know when those boxes are actually going to come back into stock. And I am hoping that they don't raise the prices on those boxes. Right now, the cog on those boxes has been pretty decent since it's been $225, even with the shipping. I really don't want to go above 8. Even I won't do 10. I don't think it's worth it for what comes in those boxes. Yes, there are some nice pieces that come in those boxes. It could be worth the $10 for a cog. But for me, and what comes in those boxes, not knowing for sure, especially with the flaw rate, going above 8 for me is not worth my business model. 8 works fine for me. Between 5 and 8, I'm good with. So even when they went 5 to 8, I was okay with that. But going from 8 to 10 or more, that's just not for my business model. So I am hoping that when they come back in stock, that they do keep it within the parameters of the price bracket that they've had. If they do go up, I'm going to have to rethink those boxes. And just as we go, right? We all know that Helpsy Source has been changing some of their cogs. Boutique by the Box, honestly, their boxes are just out of my range. And I'm okay with that. Even though they're all new with tags, new without tags, I just don't want to pay $15, $20 for items per piece on a cog, especially when some of the items that are coming in those boxes, you're going to be lucky to be making your money back because they're not the nicer end pieces. Does that make sense? So with the program that I've been watching, the podcast that I've been watching with Tech and Sports and Daily Refinement, they've really been teaching how to sell on eBay and how to sell profitably on eBay, how to list your items, all the ins and outs of it. And I've learned so much, even just in the last week, about tweaking my eBay business to really start making it functionable. A lot of the items that sell on eBay really well, that really make you make more money on eBay, are not the type of items that you get through Quick Lots. They're more basic items. So I am still looking at items like Quick Lots and Helpsy Source, but I'm just really trying, I told my husband, I'm really trying to fine tune so that I have a certain money goal in mind for eBay and certain number of items that I want to be selling on eBay. So I have to figure out, as these companies who sell liquidation, these boxes, as eBay changes, I have to figure out for my business model what works for me, and that's constantly changing. I am literally finding from week to week that's just constantly changing. One thing that I do know is, after watching this podcast for, I've been watching a minimum of about an hour a day, sometimes an hour and a half a day. When I go for my walks each day, I listen to it, or if I'm listing, I'm just listening, because it's not a visual thing, you just listen. I'm getting so much information about how to run my eBay store. So I am wanting to tweak things so that I can accommodate items that sell within those categories of what they're discussing, so that my eBay business can grow. And a lot of that category is not what's in Quick Lots boxes. So I have boxes coming in that I have since, I'm still waiting for them to ship. I will be doing unboxings on those, you guys. But I'm also have changed my pricing on eBay. I really think I was pricing too high. And just going based on the criteria that they talk about to sell your items quick. They always talk about quick in, quick out. You don't want to be holding on to it for very long. And I was upping my pricing on my items on, not just on Poshmark, but on eBay, so that I could do like a 30% off all the time. But I do make sales. But he talks about, if your item is too high priced to start with, you're going to have a hard time getting people looking at that item as just too high priced. They're just going to move on. Versus if your item is priced within the market price or a little bit below, you're more inclined to have more eyes on your items. So I am bringing the pricing of my items down on eBay to test it out. Just so that I really, really want to kickstart eBay. I want that to be my main platform. So let's dive into that transition, that to Poshmark. Let's talk about Poshmark, you guys. I still want to run on Poshmark. I do. I really do. Because like I told you guys before, it was my first platform that I started off with. But I have already told my husband, as it stands now, Mercari is not an issue for me. The only thing with Mercari that I really wish they would change is that anything beyond a pound, you have to, the way my thing is set up, I have to copy and paste to do my shipping, through my label. And honestly, I'm not making that many item sales where it's over a pound. Most of what I sell is under a pound. So I literally just write the name of the person who bought it, and my USPS does my label for me. It's great. I just do a barcode. So Mercari isn't an issue for me in selling, and I'm not selling any hard goods on eBay. So continually selling on Mercari right now. I am hoping that because I'm listing 10 items continuously, because even though my eBay listings on the weekends are scheduled, after I have them go live at noon on the day. So in the afternoon on Saturdays and Sundays, all those listings that went live, I automatically transfer them over Saturdays and Sundays, and it does not take me long to cross-list those onto Mercari and Poshmark. So even on Saturdays and Sundays, I still have 10 listings going live on Poshmark and Mercari. So I'm actually even noticing more interest in my Mercari sales. So I will still be continuing with Mercari as it stands right now. Poshmark, I'm a little bit concerned about because Poshmark, first of all, let's talk about the AI. I know I mentioned this when we talked about Poshmark Poshfest, right? They did mention that AI is coming out soon. They mentioned roughly, hopefully in the next few months. One of the reasons why I'm concerned about AI is after listening to the podcast by eBay, the gentleman who is the main speaker on that podcast, he's been selling on eBay for over 15 years now. And he mentioned that with AI, eBay is not moving towards AI anytime soon, which I'm glad for. But when you're talking about AI doesn't look at the detail that a person would be putting in their postings for keywords. He mentioned that it's just a very general, basic type of listing. The AI isn't looking at your specifics that you personally put in your listing to make it sell for the keywords. So he is feeling like AI would not be a good direction to go in for listings. I agree. Anytime you put a computer in front of something to list something, it's not personalized like the person listing the item wanting to sell the item to make the item sell, right? There's not that personal touch on that listing to make that listing and that item sell. So knowing that Poshmark is moving towards AI, it is disconcerting to me. I will have to see how things go with it, but if it just botches my listings, I am concerned too with the algorithm, to be honest with you guys. On top of the fact that they just closed down 3 countries. I'm sure you all know, I've already heard about it. They closed down Australia, they closed down UK and India. So I have, I'll post this and I'll link it down below for you guys. Fashion marketplace Poshmark has suddenly announced the closure of its Australian, UK, and Indian websites. Fashion marketplace Poshmark entered the Australian market in 2021 when the company based in the US implemented a global expansion strategy. Starting in 2011, the marketplace host knew a secondhand clothing and accessories with its merchants selling to a customer base of over 80 million. It first began its global expansion strategy in 2019 when it opened its site up in Canadian users before the second wave in 2021, which saw it expanded into India and Australia, and later in UK in early 2023. So they didn't open UK very long ago. It was just not even, 9 months ago? Just early 2023, it says. Last week, the company announced with little warning, like right after Poshfest, literally right after Poshfest. The week after Poshfest, boom, they announced this. And there was absolutely nothing at Poshfest they said mentioned about any of this, which is, in my opinion, not cool. And I'll explain why. So the website, they would be completely closing Poshmark Marketplace in Australia, India, and the UK on November 2nd, 2023. In order to focus on Poshmark North America business and drive meaning growth into its core markets in the United States and Canada, so Canada should be secure for a while, the company has made the difficult decision to close the Poshmark Marketplace in these countries. Read the announcement. And I'll link it below. I'm not going to read the whole thing. But I feel bad because I understand that some people from those countries traveled to US Poshfest. So they literally paid all that money out of pocket to go to Poshfest, not knowing that Poshmark was closing down their country right after they paid all that money to go to Poshfest. That's just not cool. Now, I always like to be positive on my channel. I'm just expressing an opinion. I was watching another gal who was talking about this just a couple days ago, and she agreed. That's just not cool. And I do feel really bad for all of these people in these countries that are running Poshmark, because some of these people, this is their livelihood. And they don't have any notification whatsoever that their country is closing down. They literally announced it within a week after Poshfest. And November 3rd or November 2nd is like 2 weeks from now. So they said a week right after Poshfest, them paying all that money if they went to Poshfest. And then 2 weeks later after the announcement, boom, their country's being shut down. I just think that this is not very kosher. It's just my opinion, to be honest. I'm glad that they're keeping Canada open because I know a lot of Canadians are very excited because they're trying to work out shipping to be able to sell on Poshmark US. Um, I thought about selling Poshmark Canada, but the exchange rate, you would actually lose money going the other direction versus from Canada to here, you actually make more money selling as a Canadian to US because of the exchange rate. And honestly, I just don't even want to go in that direction. My focus is eBay. So I just honestly feel bad for these people. And I honestly am a little disconcerted. Last year after PoshFest, they did not announce certain things at PoshFest. And then after PoshFest, Poshmark came out and made some big announcements after PoshFest. And I just don't like the way they're going about things. If you're going to make huge decisions like that, I don't remember if lives were mentioned at PoshFest last year, and honestly, I don't know. But there's just been a lot of other changes. The algorithm change. There's just a lot that went on this last year that really messed up a lot of people's stores and their closets. Sales dramatically slowed down for a lot of people. Granted, economy is a big factor in that, but I do honestly believe that there's just a lot of factors going on with that. My husband told me, I think I've mentioned this in previous YouTube videos that I've watched where I've let people know. My husband told me probably well over 6 or 8 months ago, he felt I should shut down Poshmark and just sell on eBay. He knows I'm still selling on Poshmark because I still make good sales on Poshmark. And back then, I was doing lives and trying to get lives up and going. Even though I'm no longer doing lives, I'm going to continue with Poshmark as long as I can because I still do make good sales on Poshmark. And I'm hoping to continue to get that going, keep that going. But Poshmark is not my focus. I do cross post on there, but if there are days where I don't have time to cross post on Poshmark, I do eBay first. You always know that. And then I do Mercari next now. So, yeah, I just, between the AI and possibly the algorithm getting kind of messed up with all the things that they're doing in the next few months, I do hope. Last year, the algorithm, we all know the algorithm just went bonkers. And it did seriously affect sales. That I do agree with. So the next few months between now and like after the first of the year into going into spring is really going to kind of discern what I'm going to do with Poshmark next year. And I'm hoping at that point, honestly, that my eBay is just really starting to boom. So, yeah, I'm just not even really sure what else to say about it. My heart just kind of breaks for those people because even though I'm a full-time reseller, I do not depend on me reselling for income. However, my husband and I do have plans and goals for my reselling business. We do have a future of what we're wanting it to be and accomplish with it. So yeah, I do want to keep going with it if at all possible. There are days where I'm like, oh, the dredge of listing and all that. But I think that's normal when you're reselling and you work from home and you're by yourself all day long. That just happens. And my husband's just been trying to make sure I get out of the house more. And, you just kind of work through that stuff. That's not unusual as a reseller, no matter what platform you sell on. But I've been kind of dealing with a bit of the melancholy being at home by myself. And now that we're going to the winter season, we're in fall now. We're actually supposed to be expecting a dusting of snow this weekend. We'll see if that happens. But we're dropping down to the teens this weekend already. So there will be days where I really won't go very far, except for to the post office and then back, which I kind of already do now. So my husband's just been making sure that I do get out. Like he took me out to dinner the other night to get me out for about an hour. Because I pretty much go to the post office and go to church, and that's about it. I haven't do my daily walks, but when it's snowing or raining out, I can't really do that because it's too cold. I will definitely get out and walk during the fall and winter season when the weather is conducive health-wise. If it's too cold, then I just obviously won't do it, but I do have an indoor walk that I do, so I will get out for that to kind of battle the melancholy. But I'm also kind of excited about where my eBay is going, so that's kind of giving me some boosted spirits, and hearing from you guys has been helping too. eBay and the connection on YouTube has been helpful. But yeah, so I just... The next few months, I think, will determine for a few people. I already know that there's been some people who have just left Poshmark. After what happened at PoshFest, some people are just really unhappy with what's going on with Poshmark even before PoshFest. There's been issues with returns on Poshmark. I think I shared with you guys, I don't know if I shared with you guys a return issue that I had. I'm not going to go into it right now, but there's been a lot of people having issues with returns on Poshmark, and situations that Poshmark would typically, in the previous history, back a seller up on. They're supporting the buyer instead and making the seller either lose money on the item or the item's getting returned even though it shouldn't have been returned based on what Posh has done before. So they're supporting customers now more than sellers. It's been challenging for Poshmark lately. I fortunately haven't had a lot of return issues, but I've also seen some videos where there's just been some very questionable returns for other sellers that Poshmark has done to those sellers that was not okay. And it was obvious that it was the buyer's issue, but Posh sided with the buyer and told the seller, no, you have to take this return back regardless of the fact that this item is damaged. I mean, it was just terrible. So anyway, again, not to be negative, I just want to be really real on here, guys. I want this to be real about truly what happens in the reseller community, in the reseller world. Not to negate reselling, guys. This is a great time in life to be a reseller. It truly is. This is a great time in life when you can find what niche works for you as a reseller, your listing, get your listing right, your pictures right. Speaking of pictures, I know I'm kind of jumping around a little bit. I apologize. I'm updating how I'm doing my pictures. I'm putting a new setup together. I ordered some new lights because my system right now is just not good enough. And I want my pictures to be better. My return that I had recently was due to the fact that the picture looked different than the item because I did not have enough light and focus. So I am changing up my picture system to make sure that my lighting and my pictures are better. So speaking of which, since we're talking about pictures, let's transition here. There's been some great updates on eBay and Flip, you guys. eBay just came out with a new tool on their site for listing where they now have background removal. I have been using it, testing it out the last few days, and I really like it. One of the reasons why I like it more than Photo Room is because in Photo Room, when you do the background removal, it kind of does like an outline of the piece instead of just making everything outside of the item just white. With Photo Room, you can actually kind of see an outline of the piece. So if there was things around that piece and the piece looks kind of choppy, it just looks like somebody drew around it and they just cut it out, which doesn't look professional. And I haven't liked that about Photo Room. But with eBay, and I haven't done it with Flip. Flip did the same thing. They just announced they now have a background removal. So if you use Flip as your listing platform, they now have background removal. So Flip and eBay both now have background removal. Not to be repetitive. I have been using the eBay one, and I like it because it doesn't do an outline of the item. It just takes the item, whites out the background, and leaves the item just a nice clean item with just a white background. It just looks neat, professional, and nice. So I've been using that for my main photo on my listings, and it just looks really nice. So I haven't been using Photo Room the last couple of days. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. I'm probably going to continue to do the eBay one because it just looks neat and professional, and it doesn't look like the item is cut out. Some of you who use Photo Room have noticed that about some of the items, especially nice evening dresses. When you're doing nice evening dress and you have to have it on a box to, display it out, it just looks choppy in the Photo Room cutout of the item. I just haven't liked it. So yeah, those were my main things, guys. This is a little bit short of a video today, but there's just a lot of crazy things happening. Liquidation is changing, guys. So I'm having to be very mindful. Y'all know I say it over and over again. I feel like a broken record, but you have to be, guys. You have to be very mindful of your COG on your items. And I was just telling the gal that I was talking with on my YouTube video, if they do end up going up on their COG, right now, Quick Lots, if you don't they do a membership thing now. And it's like $30 or $35 a month for a membership. You get free shipping on all your boxes. But the problem is if you're paying $30 or $35 a month for the membership, but you don't order enough for that free shipping to be a benefit, because you're only ordering maybe one box every month or every few months, that $35 membership isn't worth it for you. So I have not done that. I don't plan to right now. because honestly, I don't order quick lots enough for that to matter. But if they start making changes, especially when they get new inventory in and they start increasing their prices, I'm going to have to reevaluate quick lots too. I do have more boxes coming in. I am very excited about that. And it is geared towards the changes that I'm making for eBay based on the podcast that I've been watching. So yeah, I'm still going through my inventory back here. Y'all know if you've been watching my solds, newer listings and older listings are selling. My goal, because of the changes that I'm making, is I am hoping to start making like 10 sales a day and just continue to add on to that. That is my goal. But now, because things have been changing so much with sourcing online, like I said at the beginning of the video, I've been wanting to add nicer and higher end pieces to my closet. But if the COG's too high, I'm not going to be able to accommodate that all the time. So I am still focusing a lot on the lower end COG pieces. And this is going to have to be what it is. If I sell more items and just do it that way, I'll figure out my inventory. And if I need to, if I'm making more money and selling more items, then hopefully my goal of maybe even just getting a storage unit down the road and just doing that might be a possibility for me, because we do have storage units here in town. And some of them are empty. So that might be a possibility for me down the road if eBay grows that big. But I will take that as it goes. In the meantime, right now, I'm just really growing eBay and cross-posting Macari first and then Poshmark if I have time. I actually did have, if you also saw my sold video, if you haven't yet, go watch that. We did have some great sales again. Some nice pieces are selling. And I'm hoping that as I continue to list 7 days a week now, 10 items a day, I'm hoping that is going to continue to go up over the next 2 to 3 months. I'm also hoping to start getting a backup so that if I do have a couple sick days during the winter season, I am wanting to have a backup of listings available. So that is going to be hopefully my next objective, is to have my 10 listings a day, and then maybe a backup of listings in drafts, so that if I'm sick, all I have to do is list and not have to go through the process of pictures and all that. Because it's easy to list something in drafts when you're sick. I can manage to do that if I'm sick. But I would like to be able to have a backup of a few days, maybe up to a week of drafts in my drafts on eBay. That way, if I do come down with a head cold or something like that, and I'm laid up for a couple, 2-3 days, I am able to just literally take some drafts, put them up, and cross-post. And I won't have to worry about being up here and doing photos and all of those other things. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Guys, I hope this was a blessing to you. Like I said, it's a bit more of a really meat kind of thing this week. Just a lot of changes happening. And I've been hearing a lot more people, even on YouTube videos, talk about how their prices in their Goodwills and their thrift stores are continuing to rise. So many people are unable to source at their thrift stores anymore. So many people are not sourcing at their main thrift stores, and they're either doing bins or switching to online liquidation because they can't do their Goodwill stores. Not just Goodwill, it's all the thrift stores. They're all going up. So that makes online liquidation want to bump theirs up because they got more people wanting their product, which is probably one of the reasons why Helpsy Source did what they did, because their boxes went fast. I still think they're increasing their prices by double is ridiculous. I think my husband and I talked about it. Increasing it by maybe $3 or $5 per piece, I understand that. You're still making a good chunk of change. But to double your COG, have you guys been on Helpsy Source lately? Those women's Helpsy Source boxes that sold out very quickly that first time here not long ago and they restocked, those boxes are still sitting there now because they doubled their COG on those pieces. They're still sitting there now. They didn't sell out. So I was telling another gal on YouTube on her video, it'll be interesting to see how long they wait to bring those prices back down, because people aren't going to buy them at that price. They're sitting there now. I'm sure some people are buying them. Absolutely 100%. But compared to what could be bought by us resellers if the COG was lower, yeah, I think they would be making a lot more boxes go out. ThreadUp's the same way. I'm sure when they did that 30% off sale, they had a lot of boxes that go out the door. I know myself, I purchased about 4 boxes. I'm still waiting for a couple more. But I'm sure they had a lot of boxes going out the door because the 30% off. I think if they took the $10 fee for shipping off, they'd probably be selling more boxes. Anywho, not to beat a dead horse. Okay, guys, I've always enjoyed being with you guys. I enjoy these videos. I enjoy sharing this journey with you. I'm trying to come up with a motto for both of my channels. Y'all know I have a daily healthy living channel. Really been enjoying that channel. I've got quite a few videos up there, so if you didn't check that out, it's always linked down below. I'm trying to come up with a motto for that one, but I think my motto on this one's going to be make progress daily. Okay, guys, let's make sure that we're it wasn't make progress daily. What was I thinking? I'm gonna have to remember. It wasn't make progress daily because that's very close to another reseller who does the YouTube, and I don't want to duplicate another reseller. I want to be very mindful with that because I don't think that's cool. What is it? I'm always saying that. Oh, I'm gonna have to think of it. I had it in my mind earlier, and I can't think of it now. I know what it was. Be productive daily. That's what my thing was. I want to try to remember to tell you guys that because, and the reason why I picked that, I'm writing it down so I don't forget it again. Be productive daily, guys. And the reason why I say that is because no matter what you're doing as a reseller, we should be productive daily. Now, I do agree that we should have downtime, absolutely 100%. But being productive daily, like if you have listings scheduled on eBay, you already know they're going live. You're being productive daily because you have live listings going up, right? Or if you're taking photos or something. But be productive daily. Okay, guys? Thank you so much, y'all, for being here. I love you guys. I appreciate all of you. Always feel free to comment down below. I love it when you guys leave comments. I'm learning a lot from you guys, and I so appreciate y'all because that's what we're here to do, right? We're here to learn, share information, be productive daily, be great resellers. And if you are brand new to reselling, I hope you find your niche. I hope you figure out how you want to do things, figure out your business model. And guys, we'll see you next time. Take care.